Hey, it's CAD and aka Samson. Welcome back to the CADCAST. This is episode I don't even know. I think it's 8 maybe. If it's not, then that's going to be bad in the recording later. But yeah, well, it's me, CAD, of course. I'm always here. And the return of Kris since last episode.
I'm back.
Kris is back. Kris, you want to turn up your audio a little bit? Get closer to your mic.
I was just baby boy.
That's a little better. I'll do that. And then our guest for today is our only viewer, Jack.
Oh, welcome. I'm a very avid viewer of the CADCAST.
I don't think he's our only viewer.
No, I don't think I am, but I am probably the most avid.
Yeah.
So our only viewer. And returning to what this show was supposed to be about, gaming. And I feel like we always need to give a round of applause for a gaming episode because we always do other shit before we get to gaming episodes. So,
We're finally back to a gaming episode.
Yeah, I think the last one was the Skyrim one, and that one went great.
That was just Kris talking the whole time.
Yeah.
It was.
Nothing wrong with that.
But to keep all of us talking, we have a game series that I think we all enjoy to some capacity. And that is Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed, which is a successor, at least the first one was a successor to Prince of Persia. And it's a very, 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 very popular game series with, I think, like 200 games at this point. And the newest one is coming out on Tuesday. And that one's the Viking one, so woohoo. But who wants to give a rundown of what kind of Assassin's Creed is?
All right, I guess I'll do it since Kris isn't talking. So basically,
I'm daydreaming.
he's dreaming about Schmeating his meat. But
Yo!
the Assassin's Creed is basically just it's revolving around the battle between the assassins and the Templars throughout the centuries, and you play as different assassins throughout the many years. His first one was Altair. Then you had in Italy, you had Ezio. Can
you pronounce Altair's last name?
No, and I'm not even gonna try.
Altair Ibn Ahad.
Ibn Ahad.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Ahad.
And that one takes place in not Constantinople. Where is it?
Istanbul.
Istanbul, yeah, it's in Istanbul.
Okay, I was gonna say that Constantinople and Istanbul are the same place. It's the same city, just renamed.
Right, and then AC2.
AC2, which was Ezio Auditore, and then we had 3, which is Connor Kenway. Otherwise, I can't. I'm not even gonna try.
Pronounce his name.
Shut up! I'm not even gonna try.
Raha no Gaten.
Okay, there you go. Then we had one of my favorite ones, AC4, with Edward Kenway.
Oh yeah, 100% the best.
It's the sweatiest one.
A lot of people would not agree with that statement. Actually, that is the best. But we'll talk about that later. We got the... Let's see. Let's go on to the continuation here.
While he's stalling.
No, I had opened up the image to see which game actually came next.
He's got his notes.
Then we had Rogue. That game fucking sucked.
Trash.
Shay.
Yeah, Shay. And then Unity was after that.
With Arnold.
I never played Unity, so I can't. I had no opinion on that.
I did.
Then we had Syndicate
with Jacob and Token Girl.
Evie Pry.
There's so much porn.
That was the twin one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we had Origins and then Odyssey.
Bayek of Siwa.
And then Odyssey has 2 playable characters, Cassandra and the other guy. I forgot his name. Alex.
Alexios.
Alex. Okay. Alex. So
Alex, there you go.
For the sake of this, I'm just gonna let you know the canon main character of Odyssey, and I'm not making this up. This is the canon. The canon is Cassandra. Yeah, it's Cassandra. She is the canon.
Yeah.
I knew
which
I
is
was gonna-
whatever, fine. And then you forgot Assassin's Creed Liberation. God damn it!
Liberation wasn't one of the main series games,
I'm so fucking done.
but I did skip over Brotherhood and Revelation. They took place after AC2.
It's okay. No one likes Revelations.
Revelations was not great, but Brotherhood was absolutely great.
Okay, let's just get it out of the way. Let's take some turns because so it's not as boring. Let's just get it out of the way.
Okay.
Quick-ish synopsis of the story of Assassin's Creed up to now.
Okay, let's go
Go.
first.
Okay. So are we talking timeline order?
Let's do game release order.
So game release order. Okay. So I never played the first one, so
Great. So that's why Chris decided to do the first game. I can tell you about the first game. The first game, there's this guy called Desmond Miles. He was this bartender dude, and he got abducted by this company called Abstergo, which, took him to do research on him through this piece of technology called the Animus. And the Animus is kind of like, it's like a simulation of your memories that you get to watch. And Desmond was taken because he has a lot of lineage with the Assassins, and that was useful for Abstergo. So he gets popped into the Animus, and then they follow his memory of his ancestor, Altair Ibn Ahad.
Here, so let's let me input
And
here
Jack
something
pull
here.
up the wiki.
No, I didn't. I actually just wanted to input this here quick. I was just like, it'd be helpful for them to know that the Abstergo is the modern day Templars, and that's why they wanted
Right.
that. Just had to input that in there.
Either way, so they follow the story of Altair and learn about these things called Pieces of Eden, which are these precursor artifacts, and the precursor race is this group of people who had a civilization before the modern civilization. They have these powerful objects. And I believe the one that was being looked for in AC1 was the Apple of Eden, which is this really powerful thing that is able to control the minds of others. Anyway, so Altair in Istanbul, with the help of his mentor, who is, I'm getting his name. Hold on, I know what it is. I think I know what it is. Well, I get the name either way. You, Altair, with the help of your mentor, looking for the artifacts. But in the end, your mentor ends up actually betraying you because he was a hidden Templar. And then from there, that brotherhood in Istanbul kind of crumbled because there was a lot of corruption and a lot of betrayal. And Altair ended up locking himself away inside of Masyaf Castle with the Apple of Eden, or a Apple of Eden. And then from there, Desmond escapes Abstergo with the help of his girlfriend. What's her name?
I do not remember that.
Ramona. And they go hide out, and that leads into AC2. Jack, you want to do AC2?
Okay, so AC2 was the beginning of one of the most beginning of the story of probably one of the most iconic of the assassins, and probably one of the most well known, Ezio Auditore. And he was a man. It again continues with Desmond Miles, and he goes back, and he is now Ezio Auditore, who is an Italian man in Venice, who then he goes on to want to kill a man who eventually becomes the Pope, because underneath the Vatican there is a precursor vault, 2 pieces of Eden, to unlock this vault. As eventually led on to Ezio, the man who would eventually become the Pope, ended up killing Ezio's father, who was playing throughout his life.
And then at the end of Revelations, they created a short animated film to kind of wrap up Ezio. I don't remember. I think it's called Embers. Assassin's Creed Embers.
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
Either way,
Should we talk about the actual Assassin's Creed movie that they produced?
no, we are not going to.
I actually
Why?
didn't think the movie was that bad. Wasn't
It was-
bad.
It was okay, but
It has lots of potential. It has potential. And I think
But-
that Netflix could do really good with the show they're gonna make.
They're making an Assassin's Creed show?
They're making an Assassin's Creed show.
Woof.
better
It
be.
could go
good.
very well.
Hopefully.
But, Embers wraps up Ezio's story. It shows him dying. So we literally do see him from birth to death.
Yes.
Literally.
Literally see his entire life.
And then from there, the plot or the chronological timeline's a little messy. But next up in release would be Assassin's Creed 3.
yeah, with Connor.
Oh, Connor Kenway. Rokatoan or something like that.
Rahano Gateson.
Whatever.
This
Rokatoan.
motherfucker said Rokutoan.
My favorite's Rokatoan.
I
I like his story.
Dude.
I love
Okay.
Rokatoan.
Rokutoan.
Rokatoan.
You want to know how he
Anyway.
spelled? Want to know how Jack spelled Altair's name?
How?
He spelled it Altiers.
What the shit?
Hey, if you sound it out, dude.
Don't even tell me how to spell fucking Rahano Gateson because I have no clue.
And you think
Oh,
I
do
do?
I do know how to spell Rokutoan.
I have no fucking
Rokatoan.
clue.
This motherfucker Rokutoan.
Rokatoan.
Okay, so who wants to do AC3?
Bruh, I haven't played
Maybe
AC.
Chris,
I
you
haven't played
didn't play AC3?
No, I haven't played it for a while, Jack. Let me
Oh.
finish. Jesus
Do
Christ.
you want me to do AC3? I can do
Yeah,
AC3.
You could do AC3.
Yeah.
Okay. Assassin's Creed 3 begins with actually you not playing as Rokutoan Kenway. It starts off with you playing as his dad, who, oh shit,
Hate them.
Haytham Kenway, aka the best villain in the series. Don't fucking change my mind.
Oh, no, he is, definitely.
Haytham Kenway, who is also the son of
he's Edward.
Edward. He's the son of Edward Kenway, who we'll get to when we get to 4. But he is the father of Connor, aka Rocknado Toan, wherever the fuck his name was. So Haytham Kenway gets a ship from Britain over to, I believe, Boston in America, because he was sent by his people in Britain to go find some precursor sites in America. So he's sent over, and he meets these bands of people, including Charles Lee, who kind of becomes his right-hand man. And they, with the help of some Native Americans, try and find this precursor site, and they do. But, they can't get into it. So, instead, Haytham fucks this Native American woman, and Connor is born then. Something I should mention before we continue. Haytham and his band of people are actually not assassins. They are Templars. And they are working for the Templar people in Britain and setting up their own in America. But anyway, Connor is born, and he, at a very young age, Charles Lee and the rest of Haytham's bitches burn down his village, and or attempt to, and then he loses his mom. His mom dies, and then from there, with the help of some old Native American bitch, I don't even remember her name, but figures out that like there's some lineage to him, and that he needs to find this guy named Achilles who lives in this fucking homestead. And Achilles is this old, like, fucking grumpy bastard. This, like, old, like, just, like, pissed off, like, assassin mentor from a long time ago. He's just done with it. But through trying to teach Connor about the world, they grow closer, and he ends up teaching Connor, who then has to go out and take out the Templars, which includes his dad. And he ends up having to work with his dad sometimes. And while all this is happening, there's the American Revolution going on. And it ends up with you actually not killing Haytham. You do not kill Haytham. I think he gets blown up by a cannonball or something. but you don't kill him. But at the end, there's a really great cutscene I love. You meet up with Charles Lee, this guy who fucked you up when you were a kid and burnt down your village and inadvertently killed your mom. And you meet up with him at this like little bar, this like little like pub, whatever. And you're both like really wounded and tired from a big fight. And he just sits down with you, and you two sit down and you just share a drink. And then at the end, you just stab him and you just walk away. You don't say anything to him. You just that's it. And then from there, I think Connor becomes the new mentor of the Assassins and helps revitalize the Assassin Brotherhood in the Americas as of that time. And then while all that's happening, there's some Unity stuff happening also, but Unity and 3 happen a little bit at the same time, I think, because of how the French and American Revolution lined up. But Unity will save for later. But that's Assassin's Creed 3.
Sounds pretty good. Okay, now we're on to 4.
And so I'm gonna let Chris and fucking Jack can do this one.
That's okay. So let's start this off. Ooh, I love Assassin's Creed 4. One of my favorites. So you play as Edward Kenway, a pirate, and pretty much what happens at the beginning is you are on a pirate ship. You get attacked by a assassin named Duncan Walpole,
who is currently like betraying the Assassins to join the Templars.
Yep. You crash on this island. At the end, you kill Duncan, steal his get-up and everything he has on him. There's one. I don't remember what the thing is called. A little crystal with the blood of the sage.
Oh, it's meant to find this other fucking precursor site in the Caribbean. It has a blood of a sage in it, and sages are like really important people from across history.
Yeah, it is used to find the observatory,
which allows you to find which allows you to see into everyone's mind.
It allows you to see everyone in the entire planet.
Yep.
Anywho,
you kill him. You take his get up. There, you also meet one of the, some would say annoying, some would say great, Stede Bonnet.
I fucking love Stede.
Stede Bonnet was great. I love Bonnet.
He is so
funny.
I
cried the last cutscene you see of him where he sails away.
God, I hate. Oh my!
His journey.
Assassin's Creed 4 has a lot of crying moments.
It
is really good, honestly. It was sad. It was sad where Edward's wife wasn't really, supporting him. But
anywho,
let you continue.
So you and Stede head over to Havana to meet with this dude named Woods Rogers and Templar Grandmaster Torres, who is the main quote unquote bad guy of this game. You give him the blood and the stuff, and then as you try to, go talk to the sage guy, you get caught by Torres. He, beats you up, stuff. He throws you on a boat where you meet your right-hand man, Adewale. Oh my. The tank that is Adewale. Oh my, I love him.
He was great.
He is amazing. So with his help, you kill everybody. You take a ship which you named the Jackdaw, which I love the ship. Oh, I love it.
The Jackdaw was a prize.
It was a prize vessel. So with that, you do some ship things. Then you head over to Nassau, and you meet Blackbeard, Hornigold, and all those group. You do stuff with them. I'm just summarizing this. I'm not going to say every single little teeny bit of this. You go through. You head into what's that place called? Iguana. That's what the place is called.
Great Iguana.
Iguana. The little place there. Upgrade that place. And then you meet the assassin, the little jungle assassins.
James Kidd.
Yeah, you kind of join them, kind of don't.
No, you kind of piss them off.
Yeah, you piss them off in the beginning. Yeah, they give you that blow.
Don't like you.
Yeah, they give you that blowpipe. So you progress through the story, and eventually you have the final little meeting at the observatory with Torres. That part is definitely one of the more irritating parts of the story with the weird laser grid stuff.
It's kind of, yeah. But whatever.
You get through that, And your little prize at the end is murdering Torres in cold blood.
But you enjoy every second.
Some
of
other
it.
quick things. Some other quick things to mention. Blackbeard dies.
Oh,
Blackbeard
it was so
dies.
sad.
Oh,
It was so sad.
I cried. I 100% cried.
Steed Bonnet, after being a part of Blackbeard's crew, finds a new way in life and decides to become a pirate of his own and sails away.
Yep.
That's so good.
James Kidd is a girl, or whatever the fuck her name was.
Yeah,
I don't
she
even
died.
And halfway through, Adewale pisses off to go help some other assassins, and you get some new girl. What's her name? Anne Bonny.
Mm-hmm. James
Yeah,
died.
her.
James Kidd dies.
Shut.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear that. It's so sad.
She died.
And then finally at the end, you get the saddest goddamn cutscene in Assassin's Creed history.
Oh God.
And holy shit, it's rough. Basically, the game, like the story, takes place over many years, and a lot of your friends either leave or die, and it's just you and Anne left on your fucking like place you've built up. And she's like, "Oh, you're going back to Britain, blah 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 blah." He's like, "Yeah, I gotta, I'm not doing this pirate shit anymore." And she's like, "Oh, you're gonna be a great husband. You're gonna be a great father too. Get the fuck out of here." And then and then the fucking song. And then while the song's playing, Edward looks at his table where all of his crew is sitting, and he sees all of his friends and enemies over the course of his journey just sitting there, just hanging out. And then he walks down, and then he gets to the dock, thinking he'll see his wife, but he doesn't. It's actually his daughter. And he and his daughter sail back to Britain. He finds some new bitch, I assume, and then Haytham is born.
Yeah, I was gonna say he eventually goes back to London, has Haytham, but he eventually develops, the London assassins into a stronger area. Has Haytham joins the Templars, and then you get AC3.
And then Edward fucking dies.
Edward fucking gets killed in his manor as an old fuck. The jackdaw gets donated to the Brotherhood, and it eventually sinks.
So sad. It should have never
And
sunk.
Adewale is fucking killed in Rogue.
God, I hate
See,
that's one of the
it's
reasons.
even more reason to hate Rogue.
Yeah,
I'll do Rogue. I'm gonna do Rogue because I fucking hate Rogue. Rogue is Assassin's Creed 4 plus if you just look at the gameplay and that's it.
Yeah.
It takes place before 3.
Okay, I gotta have one thing on here for 4. I played for about 10 minutes 4, and then I got pissed off because it was an AC4 copy.
I beat the entire game.
I couldn't.
Yeah, so anywho, Adewale is this old assassin guy now, and you end up killing him because this fucking dumbass, Shay, gets sent on this mission that he fucks up and ends up killing like this entire town. He blames it on the assassins, and he gets pissed, and he joins Haytham and his fucking cunts in fucking America, and then he goes around killing all of his assassin people besides Achilles, God bless. And he's like, "We did it, great job," and then he doesn't show up at all in Assassin's Creed 3. And Shay actually goes to France, and kills Arno's dad, which becomes a big story plot for Assassin's Creed Unity.
With Benji Frank.
And Benji Frank is a fucking pedophile in Assassin's Creed 3. If you talk to Benji Frank in Assassin's Creed 3, he'll tell you about how he fucks young bitches.
Yeah.
No lie. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's not, though. It's the fucking truth. It's absolutely hilarious every single time.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Should we even talk about it?
It's really buggy. Really buggy. I don't like the game world. I think it's bland and boring. But as traditional Assassin's Creed games go before the Origins switch, I think it's not too bad. I like his default outfit. I think it looks pretty when the cloth moves around. It takes place in France during the French Revolution, and the whole story basically boils down to your Templar girlfriend doesn't like you anymore, and Arno gets really sad and mopey dopey. And it also doesn't allow you to have multiple save files, which fucking is stupid as shit! Because it's an Xbox One release game, and that means it has to be tied to the profile. You can't have multiple save files. But yeah, Unity also had a lot of multiplayer, and it was the only one to do it.
No, Black Flag had multiplayer in it.
Yeah,
As in 4-player open world multiplayer.
Oh.
but Assassin's Creed has never really been known for, it's only been known as
Bro, I
like a single
popped
player.
off on Brotherhood multiplayer.
I know, but it hasn't really been known. Its main, driving point is the story and the world of it. Not.
All right. Who wants to do Syndicate?
I never played Syndicate.
I never played Syndicate.
Oh dear God.
I'll do Syndicate. Assassin's Creed Syndicate follows these two fucking assassin bitches named Jacob and Evie Fry. They're twins. They're siblings. And they're with the England assassins. I don't remember the exact story, but they're trying to stop this one guy, this one gang fucker from getting a piece of Eden, and they do. And then there's a lot of cool grappling hook stuff. I like the guns. I like the trains. I think it has one of my favorite Assassin's Creed worlds. I like the style of it. But then at the end, it has the dumbest ending. Like, they meet the queen, and they become, like, queen royal guards, and it's the dumbest shit. It doesn't make any sense. But, I don't know. I like Syndicate gameplay-wise. I think Syndicate's a fun one. It's underrated, but I like the trains. I like the world. I like all that. Okay. And then there was the giant shift in gameplay with Origins because apparently, I guess, Syndicate didn't do well. And so they decided to say, hey, let's be God of War. Origins.
Bayek
Who wants to do Origins?
Bayek of Siwa. I guess I'll do some Origins.
Right.
So, as everyone knows, you play as Bayek of Siwa.
Siwa.
It starts off with your son dying, which Bayek gets mad. He goes around killing a bunch of quote-unquote cultists who are in charge of killing his son. They also have, the apple? This is where you see the apple again. Pretty much the entire story is you going around killing these cultists who killed your son. You meet Aya as your wife. You do some stuff with her. Not that much of a big deal with her. Nobody cares about her. Side character. You also meet freaking Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. Do stuff with Aya. Nobody cares. Cleopatra. She doesn't, quote unquote. Does she die in the story? She doesn't die.
No, she ends up dying by Aya, but not in the game.
Yeah. And then in the end, Julius Caesar, he dies, like the old history book. You kill the cultists. They start the Assassin's Order, the hidden ones. Pretty much it.
I really love Origins. Origins is my favorite Assassin's Creed game ever. I love the world of it. I love Bayek of Siwa. I have a Bayek Hidden Blade. I think it's the best one, but there's going to be a lot of argument later.
Story-wise, it's probably top. Yeah.
Top. Except for the ending. The ending was kind of dumb. With not the Julius Caesar ending, but the last guy you kill again. But Bayek of Siwa. It's a lot of fun. I think it's, in my opinion, the best out of the two God of War style ones, but I'm gonna let Jack do the entirety of Odyssey right here.
Okay, so story-wise, Odyssey is a copy of Origins. If we're going,
it's a shittier copy of Origins.
It is going. If we're going to be completely honest, but
Yeah,
I personally, world-wise, Odyssey, in my opinion, is 100 times million better world-wise. But that is personal opinion because I've always enjoyed Greek mythology, so this was amazing to me. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey was set about, I think it's like 400 years
Before Origins.
Yeah, something like that. And it is during the Peloponnesian War, which was the war between Athens and Sparta. You play as I played as Alexios, but the main character and the canon character is Cassandra. But you play as the character whose sibling is thrown off a cliff, and you basically you're born and you're a mercenary, and your point is basically to fix your family and kill a bunch of cultists. That's basically the entire story.
And I want to make something known about Odyssey right here. When Kris said kill cultists in Origins, all the cultists have names and backstories and things they do and like history to them. They're actual people that actually do things. They could be like government leaders or like farmers or like just like, I don't know, like slave owners, like that kind of stuff.
Yes.
In Odyssey, there's like 50 of them, and they have like, they're all like randomly generated.
Yes.
And they all have like just a name, and that's it. And you literally just find them out in the open world, and that's it.
I mean, the top ones did have the backstory, but most of them did not. And
which, in my opinion, makes the whole kind of Templar grind really fucking boring.
Oh, yes.
And also, another great thing that Odyssey did is whenever you killed one of the big guys that you were supposed to kill, you have one of these great fucking cutscenes between them.
Oh, the cutscenes in this game were fucking fantastic.
In Origins, banger cutscenes. Absolute banger. Every time you kill someone, it's like you, Bayek of Siwa, fighting against them in this like fucking like Shadow Realm shit.
Yeah,
and
it's really nice.
They like pound you and they fucking yell at you and shit, and it's like a battle. And then you end up overcoming them and killing them. And those cutscenes are bitchin'.
That has been a consistent thing through all Assassin's Creed games. Is the cutscenes are always fucking fantastic, no matter what.
I think Origins had the best ones, though.
Well, I mean, they've always just been getting better and better and better, but overall, as the series, they've been bangers the whole time, in my opinion.
They've been bangers.
Bangers. And then after Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we get Valhalla, which comes out again on Tuesday, and that one takes place in, I assume
in
England, Europe.
It does.
And chronologically, I assume that one comes after 1 but before 2.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've mostly kept myself away from looking up anything about it because I want to enjoy.
I'm gonna look that up real quick. I'm not gonna tell you. I just want to see when it comes out chronologically.
I'm mostly expected actually for it to take place in southern Sweden, northern Denmark area, and I was like, that would have been a little bit more interesting. But it also makes sense for the invasion of England. But we'll just have to see how it goes.
Let's see here.
It's set in the 9th century.
Okay, yeah, 300 years before AC1, but 900 years after Origins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So technically, it is another prequel game. Technically, but the order has been established from Origins, so there will be hopefully Assassins and Templars. I am very shaky when it comes to Valhalla. Very shaky.
I have high hopes, but I mean, you should always have high hopes for the game.
Yeah, they're bringing back some of the original game mechanics. So,
but my thing is, I got burned by Odyssey, bad. Right? I fucking hated Odyssey for its like complete dumpster fire of a story, and it's like boring ass characters to me. It's fucking too big world. It's absolute dog shit ending. It just didn't make sense to me to why you would have to go back before the fucking already prequel game.
Okay, so for Odyssey, I don't think the point was the game. It was mostly this world, which they were totally basing the sales of Odyssey off of, was the world they were building it in. The ancient Greece was the total selling point of that game.
The story wasn't that well produced.
That's fine too, but I don't fucking ever go back to Assassin's Creed 3 because I love the fucking Davenport homestead. Or
you're not
go back to fucking Assassin's Creed Unity because I like the goddamn catacombs.
This game, if you go back to it, it'll be for the atmosphere of the game.
I mean, the world of Odyssey is detailed enough, but like, so was Origins. I guess it's just what flavor of ice cream do you want?
Exactly, that's sort of what it is.
But
Do you
my
like
thing
vanilla
is,
chocolate?
Origins had the ice cream, but it had the substance of a story also. I love Origins' story, and I love its world. And I guess I could love Odyssey's world also if I had it as like a wallpaper. But like, I don't want to play through Odyssey because I don't like the story. I don't like Cassandra. I don't like her fucking stupid shipmate. I don't like her fucking dumb family.
No.
I don't give a fuck about her brother or her dumbass dad or her fucking MILF mom. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So like,
I
and
understand.
then they
that.
add on a bunch of weird shit like romance mechanics.
Yeah,
And
the romance mechanic is one of the weirder parts of the game.
and choosing multiple playable characters. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Because one of the ground rules of the Animus from the start has been, it's just like a projector looking. You're not controlling the memories. You're just watching what has happened.
You're just watching what's in front of
And
you.
so how do you get the option of two different separate people if it's just of this what happened? Right? Not a this is gonna happen. What do you want to happen? This is what happened in the past. Let's look at what happened in the past.
It's very interesting. It
doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like
Valhalla.
Does Valhalla bring that back, or is it just one?
Valhalla has separate genders, but they are the same person.
Yeah, it's the same.
And they're
person,
technically both canon.
But in the game, you can like switch between genders at will.
That doesn't make sense to me either. Also,
yeah, that's one.
I mean, I get it's an like inclusive thing, okay, but like, and again, my thing is, it's a story, and if it's a game that like focuses on that kind of fluidity, okay. Like Cyberpunk, I assume in Cyberpunk you can swap your genders whenever the fuck you want.
Can you?
Because I assume maybe because it's about all the body augmentation shit. So let's say if they did add that, I wouldn't be surprised. Are they? I don't know.
That fits it since it's just all body augments. You would probably most
you're not wrong. But I feel like
the
things that they did in Odyssey are going to be a lot of they were testing out a lot of this stuff.
Well, they tested out a lot in Origins too. They tested out the return of naval combat. They tested out the 2 playable things because you could play as Aya for like 3 missions. That kind of stuff. But then with Odyssey, it just seemed way overblown to me. It seemed bloated. You had all these things that didn't make sense to me. You had this giant world with nothing to do and like these things. I would rather have a smaller world with many things than a huge world with fucking nothing to do.
That is true.
Although I understand why you love the world of Odyssey, and like I do too. When I went to Athens is cool. When you go to fucking Sparta, that's cool. When you see the fucking shores of Greece or whatever, that's cool. But like, you just have all this random shit.
To me, it was the atmosphere. It was mostly to me.
And then you can also climb on that dude's dick on your first island.
Yeah, that was great.
Which I did.
Oh, I did too. I think everyone did.
Yeah,
you gotta climb on the dick. Oh,
there's no way you couldn't.
Here's my biggest criticism about Odyssey. It made you, it to its detriment made you feel like a god, because after like the first mission, you could jump from any height and not take fall damage at all.
Yes.
And you could climb everything. Every mountain, every building, every fucking plank of wood. It was all climbable. And that didn't make it feel like Assassin's Creed to me. Because a big part of Assassin's Creed was always the free running, always the parkour, because it was a Prince of Persia successor. And Prince of Persia was a big fucking parkour game. And so when you have fucking Odyssey and you're doing backflips off the fucking top of the mountain,
you don't feel like an actual assassin.
It doesn't. It just feels like you're some fucking
parkour. The parkour made it feel like you were an actual assassin running off rooftops and hiding in the shadows and all that.
But then you could do the argument too, like, oh, was the free running in the older games good? It has its troubles. There's a lot of hitbox and collision issues.
Yeah, had its moments.
They were only working with what they had. It can't be perfect.
I think a good mix of that kind of powerful feeling, but also, restricted feeling was Origins, because you're not invincible in Origins, and you can die, and you can't climb everything, but you can climb a lot, and there's not much free running, but you can still run from buildings and climb all this shit, and it still feels fine. I think they mastered it in fucking Syndicate, though.
One quick thing was the climbing of the mountains. It's sort of like the horses in Skyrim. You fucking climbing up 90.
It is.
We've done all our criticisms of AC Odyssey. Let's do our what is
my number one was Black Flag.
Kris. See, that's a good choice. That's mine. I asked Kris about this the other day. It was a while ago. I asked him who is the most, name top 3 most iconic pirates in your mind. Like, if you think of a pirate, who are the top 3 who come to your brain? And I believe he answered
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. Then
you got Edward Kenway. And Blackbeard.
Top 3 in a category in your brain. That game has succeeded.
When you don't think of that one fuss sometimes.
Receives is that it is more of a pirate game than it is an Assassin's game. And I get it. What that game receives is
you fucking steal their shit. You insult their fucking mentor. You get one of their people killed.
You personally kill one of them.
You kill one of them.
Yeah.
You are literally killing like 10 assassins.
Though, because you could do the story. You could do that.
Yeah.
Did that.
Yeah.
And fucking even from Syndicate was that. So you can do that. Oh, assassins are epic. Wow. But then it's more interesting to me to have that standoffish person like Edward was.
Literally
like
Edward's entire thing was, though. All he wanted was money. He didn't care about anything else. Literally.
And like even at
priority.
He never worked with them directly. He only worked with them not primarily. He only worked with them if he needed to. If it helped him.
If it were to join up with the assassins and becoming a better man, he said, like, live honorably, and it never leads to an easy life living honorably. And Edward really didn't fucking care.
Nope,
he didn't.
All he cared about was himself.
He wanted money so that he could buy land back in England for his wife.
Yep, he wanted to prove his wife's father.
He wanted to prove her wrong and prove his stepdad, his father-in-law's wrong.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted.
In the end,
all he cared about.
In the end, though, his wife fucking leaves him. All of his friends are either gone or dead. he fucking almost dies a lot. He gets wrapped up in this big ass trouble, which is the assassins. And that conflict of the assassins and Templars ends up what kills him in the end.
Yeah.
And he basically at the end of it gets out worse than he was going into it.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it can be a story that shows you what greed can get you. He did become one of the most like legendary pirates, though. If you in house, like what people would think of him, if you were living in his world, what people thought of Edward Kenway, they'd probably there's that cinematic at the beginning of the game where it's like Blackbeard talking about how great Edward Kenway is, and you should join up with his crew. If you talk,
and then
yep,
and then Edward's, because like you said, he's a fucking famous pirate in the universe. His legacy lives on. His manor is a fucking syndicate, and you go to it, and it's like this historical site. It's like locked off from the world, and it's his manor. His artifacts are in the basement. He's long dead at the time of Syndicate.
Oh yeah.
And so is Connor, and so is Hatham. They're all fucking gone, but his place is there, and so he still has that. And that's a long ass time from the Industrial Revolution, from the fucking pirate age. That's a big ass gap.
That is a long fucking time.
So he has staying power.
So his in-universe name has big implications. Yes, that big influence. But like, if you think about that, also like how Ezio's name is iconic to the Assassin's Creed, the Kenway family is another one of those iconic things.
I can split up Assassin's Creed into like two separate main kind of things. You had the Kenway saga, which was 3, 4, Rogue. And then you had the kind of Ezio area, which was 2, Brotherhood and Revelations. Yeah, I'll tell you, you're fucking over there. And then you had the fucking the prequel games, which is going to be Valhalla, Odyssey, Origins.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have like the ones that don't really fit in there, kind of like Syndicate and Unity. Like they're kind of over there. Those are like the kind of, I would consider Syndicate like the sequel games, quote unquote sequel. Like Syndicate is the furthest chronologically if you're just looking at the Animus ones.
Yeah.
Because chronologically it would go Odyssey, Origins, Valhalla 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations.
No, Brotherhood and Revelations take place before. Actually, Odyssey, it was released to Brotherhood Revelations. Wouldn't it be still? Wouldn't it be 1, 2 Revelations?
No, I was saying 1, 2 Brotherhood Revelations.
Yeah, 1, 2 Brotherhood Revelations. 4,
1, 2 Brotherhood Revelations, and then you get 4.
4, 3.
No, well, 4 Rogue.
4,
No, wait.
Rogue.
4 Rogue, 3 Unity, which is kind of at the same time as 3, but not really. Unity then goes into the big gap into Syndicate. That's the kind of timeline.
Sounds about right.
There's a lot of other side games too, which no one gives a shit about, so fuck them.
The only thing of the side games I actually really played was Liberation.
Do you remember the 2D platformer ones?
No.
Good. Anyway.
Honestly, I think it'd be pretty cool, interesting to do a full-on just you play as a Templar. No, like you maybe played as Hatham or something. You went through his story without even being like an assassin at all. Sort of what Rogue attempted to be. You just go through Hatham's story, maybe. You know, the time when he was early, younger. Maybe he was around his dad for a while and saw the London Brotherhood. You can see that through backflashes or something. But you mostly play as him going over to America and finding that, thing and then trying to open it. You just play as Hatham Kenway. Up to the point where you stop playing as him, like, once Connor gets old enough. Like, that's the time you play as him. The time he gets to America to the time about Connor is about 20.
I want to separate this a little bit. Well, actually, I'm gonna give Kris his time real quick. Kris, do you have any criticisms you want to give to 4 or any of the other games? What do you got?
You can't even give 4 a criticism.
Yeah.
Oh, any of the games, because Jack and I have given our kind of criticisms. What do you got?
Oh, geez. Well, I've played the originals. Like I played 2, Revelations, Brotherhood, and 3 a long time ago. I revisited 3 for a bit. I played it for a bit. I played up to I don't remember. I played that last like year or 2 ago. The only criticisms I would really give to a game would probably be Odyssey a bit. I didn't really personally hate any game except Rogue. Rogue was garbage. It should have never been made. Just dumpster fire that is.
I
But
think
other
the
than
concept. Okay, one quick thing here. Rogue, the concept was good, but the execution was terrible.
yeah,
I
I
like
get
the narwhals.
the yeah, the concept of Rogue was an interesting topic, but then they just ruined it through the gameplay and stuff, and the story was yeah.
Rogue
Trash.
and Unity suffered from a lot of the kind of bitchy main character thing because I think
Yeah.
they still wanted to be Edward because Edward had a lot of sass to him. But the thing
Yeah.
is, Edward wasn't a bitch. He
No,
wasn't like
yeah.
he wasn't an annoying prick.
He was a pirate.
He was a guy that just wanted to get his shit done. And Rogue and Unity, though, Arno is literally a horny little sad boy who can't be with his fucking stupid girlfriend. And then fucking Shay is this little whiny bitch because his friends didn't like him. Or didn't trust him enough or whatever the fuck. I think that's a big thing with Rogue and Unity. They just had really shitty main characters.
Yeah.
Honestly, the main characters can a lot of times ruin a game.
True.
Alright. Another thing I have to say. So Jack, I know you've had your like perfect setting for Assassin's Creed with the Odyssey. But
It's a tie for perfect setting. It'd probably be tied between 4 and Odyssey.
But my thing is, if you could have an Assassin's Creed game in any time period, any place in the world, what would it be? Where would you have it?
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Anytime, any
Anytime
place.
period. Any place.
Shit, you should.
Besides, like fucking caveman.
Dude, you should have fucking asked me this question before we started recording this shit. Fuck.
Well, great. This is gonna keep our times going.
Ask Kris this question first. Let me think about this quick.
Oh geez. So any time period I could think of. Ah, it's a hard question. So no caveman. Imagine the
Yeah, no
caveman.
Ooga Booga. No Ooga Booga hours.
Ooga Booga assassin. That could be like an
saber-tooth tigers and shit.
Well, actually, they already. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different game series.
That'd
Never
be
mind.
Far Cry Primal.
Yeah, I was thinking of Far Cry Primal. Oh my. Imagine caveman assassin. Oh my god. I should make an April Fool's joke of just
Neanderthals.
Neanderthal Assassin's Creed game. Oh, geez.
Fucking what would it be called? Assassin's Creed: The Stone Age.
Assassin's Creed Stone Age. Oh, any time period. I never
I
really.
can let you two think because I have a few of mine.
I just thought of one. And it 1 second. Okay, I just cleared my throat. But the one thing I just thought of is it has to go along with my idea for you play as a Templar. I think it'd be really cool to play as the Templars want to like make people conform to society and all that stuff. I think it'd be pretty interesting to do it as during the Russian Revolution for communism with Lenin. That would be fucking.
I have something to mention about that too.
Great, I think.
I have something to mention about that too. Assassin's Creed Chronicles, which was the two fucking platforming one, you know.
Okay.
Woohoo! They did one with Nikolai Orlov, who is the most badass assassin who gets nothing. He's from the comic series. He is canon, and he is a Russian assassin that uses a fucking gun. He is awesome. I don't know all of Chronicles' story or all of Nikolai Orlov's shit, but yes, I fully endorse that Russian Revolution idea. if it could include Nikolai somehow, I would totally buy it. I love him. I would kiss him.
But
Yes.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, the communism would be pretty good to incorporate with the Templars. And that'd be pretty cool to incorporate if that'd be the game where you actually play as a Templar. So that's my almost perfect. That'd be a great idea, I think.
Let me do some research real quick.
What I'm kind of thinking is World War II.
Okay, I had actually been thinking about that, but I'm wondering, how do you incorporate an Assassin's game into World War II?
You can kind of make it like Hitler. He's the Templar dude.
See, but that's the thing. Like, most of the battling took place nowhere near. Like in Assassin's games, you have to have a central location, a not very large area in which all of this takes place. In World War II, where do you have that happen?
Well, with
Okay.
3, they did it. With 3, they did it. You had Boston, New York. You could have 2 separate areas.
Yeah.
I guess that is true. And I guess in 2, they had lots of main areas. You had actually quite a few. Actually,
we're not used. We forgot when it was separate small open worlds, not just one fucking huge one.
That's true.
Yeah.
It actually could work pretty well. But I think one of the main locations actually could be Paris in the Normandy. But I mean, it was sort of just like one long line that kept going. Not really. You spent a long time in this area. I think could be pretty interesting, but I feel like it's a lot harder to have an Assassin's game. So the closer you get to modern day, the harder it gets.
Yeah, because then it just starts getting more technological.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't make it impossible, but it makes it harder.
I think they played it safe with Syndicate going just up to the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
I feel like that's almost as far as you can go. But I feel the Russian Revolution was after that. But I feel like it's still fine. Because it's like a revolution and you can have it take place in the main cities and stuff. You can be like, you can have it be in Leningrad and Moscow and stuff, places like that.
Hey, get this.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia, the one that follows Nikolai Orlov, takes place in Russia during 1918, during the October Revolution.
See, like, he can... Like, is he going against the revolution?
No, I'm not sure, but I do know Nikolai Orlov is an assassin.
Okay. Well, he could be in the game. If you end up being on the side of the Templars, maybe he's your mentor, or maybe if you do go with my idea and you are a Templar, maybe you're fighting against him.
I just want him in a game. I think there's so much fucking... just like... I don't know. There's just a lot of potential to him with me. He has a long story that hasn't been ever shown in a game. I think it needs to be.
Imagine that. A Russian. Oh, I would love that.
Metro, but Assassin's Creed.
Metro Assassin's Creed.
But I don't know. That I hear a lot about like World War I Assassin's Creed or World War II Assassin's Creed, and I agree with Jack kinda. I think it would be tough to do that. Mainly just because I don't know how you would fit a Templar story into such a big conflict like that.
Exactly. And it was just a bloody war.
But then, like, my thing too is how are they going to do that with Valhalla? Because Valhalla is kind of like that. It's just you guys. It's just Viking shit.
Yeah.
And Viking, it's called Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm very hesitant with Valhalla. If it comes out and I learn more about the story and I learn it actually has Assassin's elements and it has a competent story, I might get it. But I'm going to get burned by Odyssey. I didn't even buy Odyssey at launch. I bought that shit for like $30.
I'm buying Valhalla the day of.
I'm gonna wait a little bit.
I'm probably gonna wait.
I'm gonna play it a bunch the day we have no school, the Wednesday, and I'm gonna fucking play the shit out
during school.
Yeah.
My ideas for Assassin's Creed time areas. I know a lot of people really want a Japanese one,
That would be interesting as well.
like a feudal Japan one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fucking
I can get
awesome.
down with that. I'm fine
I'd
with
be down
that.
with it.
But mine, I want like a Wild West one,
That'd be
and
fucking cool too.
mainly because I want there to be like another kind of deep, like deep people story, like there was with 4. 4's story up to like the end, kind of, isn't a lot about like doing all this crazy badass shit. It's just people, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just finding out who's your friends and who's not, and who's a bunch of assholes and all that. It's just a people story. So I want that kind of thing back again. And I feel the Wild West with that kind of same like greedy mentality of the Pirate Age could work well again.
Freaking Red Dead Assassin's Creed.
Red Dead, house
Red
building,
Dead
Assassin's Creed. But
I feel
that's
like
definitely one of mine.
the feudal Japan one is a really neat idea, and honestly, there is a lot of timeline, a lot of time periods, and a lot of places in which they can go with this.
There's really infinite potential with it. It just the chronological timeline of Assassin's Creed right now is extremely messy. And the modern day story, in my opinion, hit the fan after 3.
No one ever really pays attention to the modern day story.
I like the modern day story. I like Desmond.
Most of the time, yeah, it's really
I
good.
like Desmond. I like his crew. I like his old dad. It was fun up until the end of AC3, where he dies. Okay, but really didn't know what to do with it because then 4
They
comes
just
around.
use his fucking body.
Yeah, you're just they just fucking grab him and use him for research. That's the last you see of him. And then in 4, you play as some fucking Tumblr intern working on the fucking Kenway
And
shit.
then Rogue.
And then in a Rogue, you're the same, like you're like another fucker.
Yeah.
There. And then in Unity, it's literally just fucking cutscenes. And then the same thing for Syndicate. It's just fucking cutscenes. And then in Origins, I kind of like the idea with Origins.
Lara
You had
Croft.
this Lara Croft. And Desmond's dad was back. Mwah. I like that. You had that kind of. She was just kind of like some Abstergo guy working against them quietly with the assassins. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Bring Desmond's dad in. That's fine. But then they did nothing with her in Odyssey.
You played as her in Odyssey.
But for like 2 missions.
Yeah, you didn't really do a lot.
And that kind of threw it out the window. And then they introduced a lot of the extended like comic characters into the story, which is okay. Again, I want Nikolai in there, so I'm fine with having extended comic characters. But it's like you played for like 2 missions, and you didn't see any of Desmond's dad. Like, I don't know. So what I'm hoping they do for Valhalla is they find a good mix of the Viking shit and then keeping a grounded story.
Yeah,
of the modern day.
Present day story.
There needs to be a good present day story because you can't just have it be fucking cutscenes in fucking Unity. But
Chris, we never really got to yours. What was your idea?
Oh, I talked about
World
the World War II.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But
and then of course we all want the caveman one.
Caveman.
But
Assassin's Creed, Ooga Booga.
We talked about a lot how there's a lot of potential. There's so many different things they could do. The Netflix, them creating this show, they're doing this because of the success of the Witcher show they had. Now,
right.
I personally couldn't get into the Witcher show because the guy, I can't remember the actor's name, but he's the guy who's Superman. His face does not fit Geralt of Rivia to me. His face is not it. See, but the thing is with the Assassin's Creed show, they can do whatever they want. If they were to make this if Assassin's Creed were to make this canon, they can really do whatever they want. They could do a whole another story that hasn't been explored in any of the games yet.
They could have a different perspective of the modern day, whatever's left of the fucking dead modern day's rotting corpse.
They could even do They could just do modern day stuff if they wanted.
I would be down for that. I'd be down for a realistic modern day drama,
Monday,
like with a lot of implications and a lot of all that, and then you could have like flashbacks to like this guy's ancestor.
Exactly.
I would like that. I don't want it to, if I don't have Netflix anymore, but I would want it to be like that, kind of like a complex thinking story, modern day story, and then have it have some ties to another assassin or another character from a different time period. I think the best thing they need to do is separate it.
Separate.
Because, like, if they were like, we're going to make a Netflix show, and guess what? It's going to be Desmond's story from Assassin's Creed 2, but retold.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying they could either do a retelling of one of the game stories, or they can create their own and just have it, if Assassin's Creed wants to make it an official story, then they do. But I think it would be better than for them to do you do your own instead of just copying one of the game ones.
Right.
But that's just my personal thing, and I think they have a lot of potential with this. Let's hope they just don't fuck it up.
Like the movie.
Right, like the movie.
The movie wasn't bad, but it wasn't
I'm done.
good.
I'm done.
It's mediocre. It's mediocre.
Below.
It's mediocre.
I didn't like the Animus in that movie. We looked like fucking Doc Ock.
Oh no, the Animus was terrible. That was terrible.
That shit was dumb. In most of the Assassin's Creed games, the Animus is just like a bed you lie down on. But in Assassin's Creed, the movie, it was like some fucking GLaDOS portal shit where they strapped you to the back and you're like Doc Ock flying around the room.
Yeah, that was pretty
Shit was
weird.
stupid.
But yeah, in the games, you're just like fucking laying in the bed because you're just watching. You're not taking part. You're watching and you're just viewing it in your memories. You're just watching history. You're not taking part, so you're just laying in a bed like it's a dream.
And then with Assassin's Creed 4, you were at this just office table.
Yeah, but
you were just hanging out at your desk.
You put on a VR goggles.
You put on a fucking VR headset. Yeah,
that's really what it was.
You put on the Oculus.
It's really what happened. You just sat at your desk. You didn't move around or anything. You just sat at your desk.
Yeah, you were basically live streaming.
Basically.
Shit was stupid to me. But
Can I get a poggers in the chat?
Not the fucking flying around a room thing.
Yeah, that was dumb. I didn't understand that. But Assassin's Creed, one of the very most commendable things about Assassin's Creed, they've done their best to be historically accurate. I mean, honestly, obviously there can be some twists of that, and that's fine. I would rather they make a good story than a purposely historical story. But Assassin's Creed, honestly, makes history very approachable to people.
It makes it interesting.
I would have fucking never, fucking in my life, learned about like Pope shit from AC2.
Oh no. Yeah,
or Istanbul from Revelations. I would have never fucking learned about any of that shit. But like, again, Assassin's Creed. Although it doesn't always.
DiCaprio. I mean,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo da Vinci. Fucking Da Vinci. There, and you had all these actual historical. There was Blackbeard and stuff in 4. These characters that actually were
history
in
books
history.
and then added their little spin-off to it.
Like you don't know for sure that this happened, and you would have never known. It just never was written about in the history books. It's
Right.
like, you're the third character in, in some of these stories, the side characters, whatever.
Story. And Assassin's Creed mainly, sometimes they fucked it up, but they do a good job at making history exciting instead of the boring part of it. Because trust me, it's very easy to make history boring, but
that is true.
it is
That
extremely
very true.
commendable to make history exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a great feat. But also, I feel like them, like, writing in between the lines of a history book, I feel like it also fits into like the assassin thing. They work in the shadows and whatever. I feel like it fits into that. These are people you're not supposed to remember. They just like help guide history.
Yeah.
Right, and in like the Assassin's Creed universe, people don't like modern day people don't know fucking like Ezio
No,
or fucking Jacob.
that's
They're
the point,
just
because it's supposed to be like the modern day world is our world. You
Yeah.
don't know
right,
about
and it was the history that was forgotten from time.
because they're just supposed to be there to protect, like Desmond saving the world in AC3 against that lady or Athena or whatever.
Right, no one fucking knew that Desmond did that. No one
No.
congratulated him.
But that was the job of him as an assassin, was to save it, protect human freedom. So it fits really well into this is history, but another piece that wasn't really written about before,
Right.
which I thought was really good.
Assassin's Creed is a very long ongoing series. I think since like 2010.
I'm not sure actually.
At least a decade now.
7, I think.
2007, I think, was the first game.
2007. Holy shit.
Yeah, I believe 2007 was when the first game came out.
That's right. Yeah, over a decade.
Yeah. November 13th, 2007 was the release of the first one.
Yeah.
I love Assassin's Creed. It's one of my top five favorite game series ever. And
yeah, it is definitely up there.
It has I'm aware that sometimes I can sound really negative about it and really overcritical of it, but I've seen Assassin's Creed at its best. I've seen Origins. I've seen 3. I've seen the gameplay of 4. And the story of 4. And I've seen the legacy of Ezio and these great things that they have done. And so, although I'm extremely hesitant to Valhalla, and I hate Odyssey and Unity and Rogue and Revelations, I guess, but it's not a love-hate. It's what's the word?
When you love a woman, you're with her for the good times and the bad.
Right. And I'm always going to be an Assassin's Creed fan. They could make one after Valhalla that's Assassin's Creed the 80s, and you're working with fucking Eazy-E and Compton. They could make that, which I want to see.
Working with Al Capone.
You're working with
Capone.
Tupac. They could make that one, the gangster Assassin's Creed, and I would still be a fan of it because I would still want it to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just iconic, and you gotta love it. We all have our critical points of the series, but it's because we love it that we have these critical points. Is we know how good it can be, so we're trying to get it back to that point. We know its potential, and we've seen it at the top of its potential. We're just trying to get it there.
And that could be for any game series. That's me with Fallout sometimes. That's Chris probably with the Elder Scrolls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone has that.
We all get critical over the stuff we like. I'm critical over fucking Borderlands sometimes. It's all about wanting it to be the best it can be. And so, I mean, if there's any takeaway from this CADCast, any meaningful thing you should learn from, don't don't be afraid to make your opinion of something you like known, because it is important. It is important if it's something you truly do enjoy, whether it's a game series, maybe a TV show, maybe a movie, maybe even for a fucking book. It's important to make your opinion known, because you never really do know how much that opinion may matter. And it's important to be critical sometimes about the things you like, because it can lead to better stuff in the future, and it has, and it can.
Without your opinion, stuff won't get better.
And with that being said, Ubisoft, if you want to hit me up for that Assassin's Creed 1980s gangster idea,
I might have to trademark the Russian Revolution idea right now, just so they gotta.
I'm trademarking Caveman. Caveman idea is mine.
All right, that's the next big games: Russian Revolution, Caveman, and 1980s. Gotta love it. Fuck Valhalla. Actually, we're releasing Assassin's Creed NWA this time Tuesday, coming out.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Bitchin'. Either way, we're about done. That's been the CADCAST. This has been Assassin's Creed CADCAST. If you've listened through the entire thing, thank you. Kris, thanks for coming back, I guess. Fucking bitch. And then
make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and comment below.
That's right. I've been fucking Ali A. And make sure during my free gift card giveaway in the Jack. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for your opinion. Thanks for your thoughts on Assassin's Creed.
It was wonderful. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you. And then next episode, we're going to talk about other random crap, because we don't do video game episodes twice in a row. Anyway,
exactly.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good one, and that's about it.